Today's lesson is on transforming quadratic functions, which is 9.4 in our textbook. You will need some paper and pencil to take down some notes. You also will need your graphing calculator or your online textbook. If you're using your graphing calculator on the online textbook, once you log in, you're going to go to the far right-hand side. There's a drop-down menu that says Tools. Choose the graphing calculator, and this is what your screen should look like. The y equals x squared function that I have typed in already, that is the quadratic parent function, and this is the function that all other functions are built off. And that's what it looks like. The axis of symmetry, x is 0, the vertex is 0, 0, and it only has 1, 0, which is at 0. We're going to take a look at what happens to the graphs when we change the a value. In y equals x squared, the a value is 1. And so if we were to change it to -1, what do you think would happen? The graph will be opening downward because the a value is less than 0. Remember from the last lesson, anytime you have a positive a value, your graph will turn upward, which will give you a minimum. And when you have a negative value of a, your graph will turn downward. Let's see what happens when we change our value for a and we make it larger. So we have y equals x squared is in red, and in green will be y equals 3x squared. You'll notice it gets a little bit skinnier. Let's see what happens if we make it a little larger. It gets a little skinnier. So what would happen if we made it into a fraction? It gets larger. Or wider. And even wider. So the rule here, and you can write this down, is that when the a value is less than 1, your graph will become wider. When your a value is larger than 1, your graph will become skinnier. And then we mentioned earlier, when your a graph is positive, or when your a value is positive, your graph will turn upward. And when your a value is negative, your graph will turn downward. Now we have our parent function still up there, but down below we have x squared plus 3. What is going to happen now that we've added a c value to our parent function? Let's take a look. It's been moved up. So it is now translated vertically 3 units. See what happens with x squared plus 8. It's been translated vertically up 8 spots. What are you noticing about the 3 and the 8? Thinking back to your linear functions, if you just had y equals x plus 3, y equals x plus 8, what does that plus 3 and that plus 8 mean? That would be your y-intercept. Now what do you think would happen if we did -3 and -8? It's going to be translated vertically down 3 spots and down 8 spots from the parent quadratic function. So today's lesson is going to ask us to build on the changes in the a value and the addition of a c value, and everything is going to build off this parent function of x, y equals x squared. So if we said y equals 2x squared plus 4, you're going to plug this in, and then you're going to figure out what those changes are. See if you can predict what the changes are without hitting the graph. you should have been able to predict that your graph will be narrower than the parent function and translated vertically up 4. It is narrower, and you'll notice that the y-intercepted is starting at 0, 4. We'll try another one. Y equals negative 0.25x squared minus 3. Where is this going to be in relationship to the parent quadratic function y equals x squared? Make your prediction, and then hit graph. You should have predicted that it was going to be translated vertically down to negative 3. It was going to be opening downward because it's a negative value, and it also is going to be wider than the parent quadratic function x squared because the a value is less than 1. This is it for the lesson today. Some of the notes you can copy down are from the bottom of page 613 in your textbook, the examples on the width of a parabola. You also can go to page 614 and look at comparing the coefficients in the functions and how they are translated vertically. Please check the website. Your classwork and homework will be posted up there. Have a good day.